Hello and welcome back to the channel How We Move the Decimal. In today's video, I am photographing slides to sell on eBay. These are 35mm vintage slides. I want to say these slides are from the 70s, but honestly, I have no idea at this point. I've photographed too many and they're all there. I don't know what I want to talk about in this video, so I'm going to ramble a little bit. So it's going to go much like my other videos I've made. I'm in a lot of like reselling forums on Facebook and on Reddit and Instagram and stuff where people talk about reselling, highs, lows, ask questions, get advice. The Facebook ones are more positive than the Reddit ones. The Reddit ones are more negative. However, a lot of times I find the Reddit ones, even being more negative, are slightly more realistic or more informative, to put it in a nice way. A lot of times with the Facebook ones, it's very like, oh, you can do no matter what, like quit your job and go full time. You sold one item on eBay. That means you're a full time. So it's very different than what the Reddit ones are more like, okay, you need these steps to do it and stuff. That being said, they will crap all over you. Like there are definitely things that there are issues with. I want to bring up one thing that was on the Reddit forum, and I did see it again on the Facebook forum, and I don't know if it was the same person or if the economy is just that shit right now that this is becoming very popular. I'm leaning towards it might have been the same person and they didn't like the answers they got on Reddit and they were expecting different answers on Facebook. So in general, both posts were slightly different, but in general, both of the posts were talking about this person had just lost their job. They had been fired the week before and they were going to start selling on eBay to make an income. So they took $100 and went to the thrift store, and in Reddit, they posted the picture and it was 7 items, but in Facebook, they did not post the picture and they said they bought 7 items for $100. I think one of the reasons they did not post the picture in Facebook is because the picture was one of the reasons everybody was shitting all over them in Reddit. But the people in Facebook are like, okay, there'll be a return on that. Okay, they bought like electronics and hard goods. They didn't buy any clothing, but they said they looked at the comps on eBay, but honestly, if they would have looked at the comps, there were 3 things I would not have bought. And also there's being brand new. They'd never sold anything before. They haven't even registered a seller's account yet. There were a couple things that, unfortunately, the nature of the beast when it comes to eBay is if you are a brand new seller and you sell electronics, a lot of times you get taken advantage of by the scammers. And that's one of the reasons I don't sell brand new electronics. And the electronics I do sell tend to be vintage, and a lot of them I will sell as non-working, even if they do work, because I don't want them coming back to me and being like, well, they didn't work. Well, that's a 70-year-old radio that just got bounced around by USPS making its way to your house. I don't want to guarantee anything. This person had bought a vintage camcorder, but not vintage. This was, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was one of the smaller ones. It required an SD card. Anything that requires an SD card is not that vintage. I looked up at comps. They paid $25 for this. They may be able to get $70, but a lot of the ones that sold for $70 were in a lot better condition, had almost pristine boxes, and were tested and proved to work. I personally would feel uncomfortable paying $25 for something that I would only get $75 for, if that. And they have no selling feedback. They have no seller history. So some buyers may be very leery to buy something from them. And to tie up $100 for a long period of time, I mean, this could take months to sell. You don't just list something on eBay and it sells the next day. If it did, more people would be selling on eBay. So for someone who has no experience taking pictures, has no experience writing up the descriptions, has no sales history, and in the Reddit forum, you can ask questions, and they weren't answering whether or not they had like buyer's history on eBay. So some feedback. You can go and look at people's feedback and be like, oh, it's all buying feedback. It's not selling feedback, and you may be more leery to buy from them. I know I'm leery to buy from people that have like really, really high feedback and people that have zero feedback. If I saw a seller that had zero feedback, I probably wouldn't buy from them. I don't want to be their first sale. Granted, their first sale could be great. They could be amazing resellers. I don't want to be their first sale. This guy didn't even have packing material. He didn't know what he would ship it in. He didn't know shipping costs. So I'd be leery to buy electronic that could get bounced around, could get broken, all of that. But the people in the Facebook group are like, first step to freedom, first step to financially taking care of yourself, great job, like all of this. And coming from, I don't know if it's because I'm a parent or what, but coming from it going, you just wasted $100. $100 that could be spent on something else. There are things I buy that take months to sell, and then there's things that sell within hours. There's no rhyme or reason to it. And to expect high volume right away, he's like, the guy was like, I'm hoping to make 4 times my money off of this with fees, because he doesn't have a store. Obviously, he's never sold before, so he'll have listing fees and selling fees with shipping that he doesn't have a scale to weigh it, so he has to guess. All of that is big issues, and they weren't really going into that in the Facebook group, but in the Reddit group, they're like, there's more. Like, thrifting is fun. We all love to thrift. If thrifting was the main point of the job, I would, we'd be doing amazing. My death pile's worth so much money, I remember when I first started reselling, the thing that got me was shipping. If you don't have a scale that accurately gives ounces, that can come back and bite you in the butt. So knowing shipping, do you have a printer to print the labels? You don't have to have a fancy thermal printer, but you need something. Granted, you can, use the QR code at the desk to do that, or just go up to the desk and have them weigh it, but you're losing money with the eBay discount. So a lot of things need to be thought of before doing this. I don't want to be a snob about this. My husband and I have been doing this since probably 2002, 2003, almost 20 years, which is terrifying in and of itself. And so much has changed in those 20 years. But buyers take advantage of sellers that have zero feedback. Will this person know what's going on? I don't know. I guess they wanted pats on the back and kudos, and Reddit definitely did not give it to them. Facebook gave them more like, congratulations, all this stuff. Reddit's like, find a job, like go start applying places and then sell part-time. And this person lives in an apartment with very limited space for storage. So they need to really think about what they want to sell, the turnover, what storage they have. I live in a house with a garage, and I can no longer park my cars in my garage. So I couldn't imagine going full-time and making a full-time income in an apartment. You would almost have to get a storage unit or a bigger area to do it. I mean, maybe if you had a 2-bedroom apartment with an extra room, but this person has a 1-bedroom small. He said 1-bedroom almost studio, so I'm assuming kitchen and living room are all one room, bedroom's a separate room, and then the bathroom. That's not a lot of room. Can you do it in an apartment? Totally. Can you do a full-time income in an apartment? I would hesitate. I don't know if I could do a full-time income in an apartment. And I don't know if it's feasible for this person to do a full-time income in an apartment. It boggled my mind that they're like, I'm going to do this. It's so hard. But thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe and have a wonderful day.